It was barely 7:30 a.m. when that knock hit our front door hard, fast, loaded with the kind of entitlement you only get from someone who's never been told no in their life. My second sip of coffee hadn't even cooled on my tongue. There was my wife, Melissa, standing by the kitchen window in her robe hair bundled up like she'd just come out of a shampoo commercial, looking at me with one eyebrow up like, "You expecting company?" I just shrugged. No way was I ready for whatever this was. See, we'd only just moved into Oak Valley 3 days earlier, nice cul-de-sac, quiet at night. HOA seemed pretty average or so, the realtor promised. The house felt new and promising, and I figured I'd have a few weeks before meeting the neighborhood characters. Nope. I opened the door, and like some sitcom villain there, she stood Karen Fletcher. HOA president, clipboard-ready, sunglasses so big they could have their own zip code, and that smile, man, the kind that says she's about to politely ruin your morning. Morning, she chirped, all brightness, peering past me like I was nothing but a doorstop. "I'll need to see your IDs. HOA protocol. New residents must verify within 72 hours. I blinked. "You need what?" She tapped her clipboard, repeating it, especially wanted Melissa's ID. Melissa just strolled over, arms folded, cool as ice. "You want my ID?" "Who exactly are you?" Karen puffed out her chest, declaring herself HOA president. Security is her #1 concern, yada yada. Melissa cracked a smirk. "And you're going door to door like the neighborhood TSA. Karen's smile twitched. "Ma'am, I'll need your cooperation." Melissa didn't budge. "I don't think so." Karen's jaw about hit the porch. "Excuse me, you're not law enforcement, you're not even security, you're a neighbor with a clipboard. I don't show ID to random people on my doorstep." Karen started to turn beet red, threatening a non-compliance notice. I tried to play peacemaker. "Look, Karen, maybe this is a misunderstanding. We'll come to the next HOA meeting, all right?" But she was already whipping out her phone, dialing, muttering about a security breach and a rapid response. Melissa just stared at her deadpan. "You didn't just call the police, did you?" "No," Karen snapped better. Not 5 minutes later, sirens. Melissa and I just stared at each other. "You've got to be kidding." Black SUVs roll up, then an armored van, and suddenly we're looking at men in tactical gear guns drawn, shouting at us to put our hands where they can see them. Melissa steps out in her robe, hands up, calm as a still pond, and then something in the air changes. One of those SWAT officers actually stops, stares, mumbles into his radio, lowers his weapon, and get this, salutes my wife. Karen's face, priceless. She's standing at the end of the driveway like she just got pranked by fate. The rest of the SWAT guys freeze, unsure whether to tackle us or bake us cookies. The lead officer steps forward, helmet off, square-jawed, stern as they come. "Ma'am? Melissa Carter?" She nods. He barks to his team, weapons down. "This is a level 7 clearance individual. Stand down." There's this moment where you could hear a pin drop. Karen's jaw is somewhere around her knees, now screeching, Why are you saluting her?" She refused to show ID. The officer whips his head toward her. "Ma'am, you just triggered a federal protocol response. You could be facing serious consequences." Karen just looks at him, all bluster gone, trying to spit out, "She's not special. She's just some housewife." But then another agent shows the officer a tablet. He glances at it, looks at Melissa with genuine respect and says, "Ma'am, sorry for the disruption. Your status didn't flag immediately. We're clearing the perimeter." Melissa, still calm, finally speaks up. "Next time you send a SWAT team based on a neighbor's phone call, maybe verify first." "Yes, ma'am," the officer replies, not a hint of sarcasm. The SWAT guys vanish as quick as they appeared, neighbors peeking out from behind curtains, and Karen, she's just standing there, a deflated parade balloon. Melissa turns to her and deadpans. "Next time, Karen, maybe bake a welcome pie instead of starting World War III. We go back inside, shut the door. I'm still reeling. My wife, who I thought I knew, just stared down a SWAT team and didn't even flinch. But there's no time to ask questions because the next day things get even weirder. Next morning, normal as can be, birds chirping, sun poking through the hedges, and then Melissa drops a manila envelope on the kitchen counter. I ask what it is, and she says documentation. I open it and nearly spill my coffee. Inside classified files, whole sections blacked out, and a photo of Melissa in tactical gear standing between two military helicopters in a desert. I can't even name. Same eyes, same cool expression. "You were military," I stammer. She just says, "Not exactly. Clearance runs parallel to special ops, but it's more technical than combat." Before I can dig any deeper, there's another knock, Karen this time, flanked by two HOA board members. Mr. Lyle from across the street and some skinny guy who looks like he sleeps in golf polos. I crack open the door. "Can I help you? Karen's all business. We had a board meeting. Your wife poses a security risk. The HOA officially demands she submit to a background check or leave." I'm floored. You're demanding what Karen's on a roll. She refused HOA compliance. Then a SWAT team shows up and salutes her, and we're just supposed to ignore that. Melissa steps up behind me, eyes sharp as ever. "Karen, you have no authority to demand my personal info. Persist and I'll escalate." Karen scoffs. "To who? The imaginary government." Melissa doesn't blink. "Try the office of the Inspector General." Lyle looks like he wants to evaporate. The golf guy mumbles, "Karen, maybe we're pushing too hard." Karen doesn't care. Melissa walks past me, remote in hand, flips the porch security camera to play back the SWAT, the salute, the apology. Karen's color drains from her face. Lyle Bolt's golf guy mumbles something about needing to mow his lawn, and they leave. Melissa tells me she's not done. That ego won't let it go. She's right, because that night I wake up to the sound of metal on metal, a deliberate clank, not the house settling. Melissa's already awake, slipping on slippers, dead calm. "Garage side door," she says. She pulls up the security feed. A grainy image appears of someone crouched by the garage door, fiddling with tools. "Zoom in," she says. I do, and it's Karen dressed like a bargain bin spy, flashlight in her mouth, trying to break into our garage. Melissa just sighs, taps her phone, and less than 2 minutes later, a black SUV slides down the street. No lights, no sirens. 3 men in tactical gear hop out. Not SWAT this time, something sleeker. They move straight for the garage. No wasted motion. Karen doesn't even notice them until they light her up with an infrared spotlight. Karen Fletcher step away from the property. Hands in the air, she shrieks, drops the screwdriver, trying to explain herself. "I was investigating suspicious activity." Lead agent's voice is ice. "You were trespassing. Attempted forced entry on federal property." "It's not federal. This is just a house," she protests. Melissa opens the door, calls out, "Actually, Karen, the garage is classified. You just violated 3 federal codes. Hope you brought a toothbrush." Karen's scrambling, "You can't do this. I'm the HOA president." The agent flashes a badge, "And I'm with Homeland Security. Your title means nothing to me." They cuff her, gentle but firm. Karen just trembles, looking more like a lost kid than a dictator. As they load her into the SUV, Melissa turns to me and says, "She'll be out by morning. Community charges won't stick." But now there's a federal file with her name on it. I exhale, still in shock. "So what now?" She gives a sly smile. "Now we renovate the garage. I need a more secure server room." "Server room?" I ask, but she's already walking away. And in that moment, it finally hits me. I didn't just marry my best friend, I married a legend. You ever have a neighborhood Karen try to flex on you, act like she runs the whole block? Yeah, that happened. So if you've got a story, drop it in the comments. Let's see who tops this mess. Smash that. Like if you think Melissa handled this better than most special agents would, and don't forget to subscribe, because next time someone demands your ID on your own porch, who knows, maybe the SWAT team will be the ones saluting you. Now go on, argue it out. Was Karen ever right? Is there such a thing as too much authority in a neighborhood? Or does justice sometimes need a classified nudge? Let's hear it.